Alright folks, welcome back to the shop today. We've got another pistol for you. This is the XDm. This is the 40 caliber, the 3.8 version of it. Springfield. It was the HS2000, made in Croatia before this, and it's been relatively popular for quite some time. I don't see it really going away anytime soon. I believe there's more versions of it on the U.S. market than anywhere else, but not 100% sure. It's like all the other Tupperware stuff, man. You can get different color frames and slides and whatever. Relatively inexpensive for a pistol. I don't think they're terribly expensive. They're the same category as the M&Ps and the Glocks and whatever else. They, they've been around since mid-90s, I think, at least in the HS2000 iteration of it. So it's been around for quite some time. Not as long as the Glock, but longer than the M&P. Good pistols, relatively reliable. They do have some weird, interesting quirks about them. Usually somewhere after 20,000 rounds through the gun, you'll see right here at the slide stop recess in the slide itself, you'll get some hairline fracturing in it, and typically this whole little piece will bust off right back here, and that will cause the slide to not lock back anymore. I've had that happen to two of mine, both in 9mm and 45. Both of them had the exact same problem, and both of them, it occurred after 20,000 rounds. I think it was closer to 35 or 40,000 rounds. But this one here, we're going to disassemble. You might notice when I go to reassemble it some slightly differences in the parts that I take out, and that's because I am putting a trigger kit, an aftermarket trigger kit in this gun. You guys can Google it and find what you want them. The company that makes this trigger kit, I'm not gonna say who it is because they don't pay me to. Let's get down to it. Pretty basic gun. Obviously, I pulled the magazine out, and that's just like any other magazine, man. You push the little keeper there in, and the magazine comes apart. Your follower. Not a real complicated process. I think one of the differences from the original XD to the XDm that they made is that if you're this disassembly lever, when it goes up, like, you don't have to pull the trigger anymore, but you can't test the trigger or make anything move if that lever is up. This bar here is kind of a disconnector, so when you put it back where it's supposed to be, now you can actually make parts move and wiggle. And so if this lever's up, the gun can't go bang. It's different, and I don't recall that being on the original XD. I could be wrong, but I don't recall that being there. We'll have to tear one open one time, the original XDs, not the M, and find out. But from here, all we're going to do is I'm going to take that disassembly lever and rotate it ever so slightly and wiggle it out of the gun like that. It's got a big spring in here that detents it, so you're going to have to line this up and pull it out. And see that nub there on the disassembly lever? That's what works or hinges on this little bar, and we'll see here that in a second. See that here in a second? I don't know. I can't. I'm still getting over this bullshit cold or whatever the hell it is that's eating my soul right now. The two pins here will come out next, and they're simple enough. They should not be difficult. We should be able to just drive them through. Come out. I need a longer punch. There we go. Pin 1. Let me try that again on pin 2. It's done. Another thing too is, so these pins are held in. They're spring detented in the gun. But I think the old XDs, I think they had little keepers on one side of them, so they were like directional, so the hole was smaller on this side of the gun than it was on the other side, and there was this weird, I don't remember. It's been so long since I've been into an older one. But anyways, the your locking block will now come up and out. Keep in mind that there is a spring on that locking block there, and that spring is your slide stop spring, and it's also the spring that detents your disassembly lever. From there, that little disconnector bar or whatever, that's the doodad. That little fork sticks inside of there, so when you rotate that, it'll move that little bar up and down, or rather back and forth in the gun, not up and down. I apologize. And then your trigger and trigger bar can come out like so. You know, they're marked M, so you can remove the trigger bar, just rotate it out, slides off there. Your spring will come out. I'm going to set that aside because I won't be reusing her. Your slide stop will come out, and there's the front end of the gun. These back straps are interchangeable on this. It's just a roll pin. You knock the roll pin out, you put whatever back strap you want back on here, knock the roll pin back in. For simplicity and time's sake, I'm not going to mess with that. There's a pin there, knock it out, swap them out, no big deal. What I am going to do though is in our sear pack back here, you've got this pin that doesn't quite go all the way through to the other side here at all, and it's there to help retain your ejector, and it is what put tension on your shear and disconnector spring. So I'm going to take that out first and take the pressure off of those two springs, and it should just kind of push out the other side. It shouldn't be terribly tight. And see how those two spring legs have popped up over it now? I'm going to keep pushing that little guy through. And what I'll do is I get a little pair of pliers, and I'll just kind of ease it out of there. Pretty simple. Now the other pin, then this is what's going to make it all kind of a bear to go back together, are these next two pins here. I think that punch is too big. Story of my life, right? Just punch that pin out. It shouldn't be difficult. You might have to kind of hammer it out the first time. But once you get that pin out, you can kind of hold on to everything here, all the bits and goodies, and they will come out. You have to kind of push that guy. There's your springs. Oh, disconnector, and it all falls out. So we took out there was the actual sear itself. Your disconnector, I believe. The disconnector? I think so. And then your ejector. And then these two springs here, they ride inside of each other, but again, they're going to go away. We won't use those again. This one's kind of a bear. You've got two springs in here. And push those out. That pin, and kind of, they want to do the same thing. They're going to want to go springing all over the place. This spring is strictly to put pressure on your backstrap safety. No big deal. And then this spring is for this little guy, and I want to say that's your shit, no, it goes in this, it rides in here this way. Maybe this is the disconnector. Maybe this is the disconnector. I'll have to go back and do my research. I forget what the fuck they call this shit, alright? Give me a break. What are you bitching about? The video's free. Then we're gonna, guys, go onto the slide here. Slide comes apart pretty much, at least for a field strip, but easy. Your recoil assembly, your barrel. It is ever so slightly different than, say, the Glocks. There's a plunger here. You push that guy in, and then your back plate, your slide plate comes there. Retain that thing like I just didn't do. Bucking launch and shit across the shop. That little plunger there, and then you'll get your striker spring. This is what actually imparts energy onto the striker when it goes forward, when the sear releases it. That will also be changed. Then you've got your actual, this little pin is your cocked indicator in the gun, and it slides into that plunger like so. So when it's cocked, you know, it sticks out the ass in there. There's also a little guy in here, this little pin which holds your firing pin block. You pull that little guy out, and then your firing pin block and its spring will come out. Careful not to lose that. I believe that's getting replaced as well, that firing pin block spring. And now there is your striker itself is retained by a roll pin in the slide. When you take this roll pin out, you're gonna have to do it bottom side this way, like so. This hole on the bottom here is smaller than the hole up top. So you take your appropriate sized roll pin punch and your appropriate sized hammer, and this is a pretty stout roll pin, so try very difficult or very hard not to ruin this. You can ruin one of these very easily, and they're a pain. Again, putting your finger on the back there, we'll pull everything out, and out comes your striker and its return spring. That is a striker return spring, so it puts rearward pressure on it, kind of rebounds it. The extractor is kind of a bear to get out. There's no good way to get these out of there other than I can't remember if they're staked. I think they're just friction fit in, but they are a bear. And usually what ends up happening, man, is you end up just kind of like whacking the shit out of it on a bench or something like that to get it to come out. There's probably a better way than that. Don't think that is the only way. I just not aware of it. So unless they're broken, I don't even try to get them out of there. But that's how it comes out. It's not retained by anything other than friction at this point. So you've got your round on the chamber indicator, and because it's a little roll pin, there's just a little spring underneath there, and you know, round on the chamber, and this thing little pops up. No big deal. Not overly complicated. And that's really it for this gun. I mean, no reason to drive sights out. I will say the sights on these Springfields, the XDs and the XDMs, are very tight. They are in there extremely tight. And I don't know if Springfield still does it, but they used to heat the slides up and then drive the sights in and then let them cool off. And so trying to get them out was just a huge pain in the ass, where I don't know if they do that anymore, but occasionally I've seen people break punches and everything else trying to drive these things out. And the only way that I swap them out anyway is I've got a real nice tool pusher, you know, sight pushing tool, and it's a big monstrosity, and it works really well. I've never had any issues trying to take sights in, you know, on or off with it. So yeah, if you're trying to swap sights and you're not being able to use hammer and punch, it's not surprising. They're in there tight. Toit, look at Toika. Anyways, yeah, that's it. Like I said, XDM was a 3.8. Yeah, it's a 40. Kind of the bisexual of the rounds, I guess. You know, best of both worlds. It is what it is, man. They're pretty decent guns. I think they're a little overcomplicated, but they run. They're good. You know, the CZs, 75s, I think they're kind of overly complex built as well, but they're still good guns. So it's kind of all in the same category. Enough rambling. Give me a like, share, subscribe. If you have any questions, man, put it down there in the comment box or section or whatever else. I'm getting to the point now where I have enough subscribers, and I guess I'm getting enough viewage or whatever, dude. Some of the trolls are starting to come out of the closet, and most of you I'm going to delete, and the other ones that if I feel froggy enough, I'm going to fire back and leave the comments up. So, I mean, take it at your own risk, but I'm not going to pull any punches. I don't care if they ban my channel or not. You just keep that in mind. You guys have a good one.